Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we simulated the rest of the season and we made a few trades, and we're up here pretty much at the draft. And yeah, our team had a pretty rough year again, which is good, but we did get some good development and good progress from our youngsters because we did call up Calvin Shelley at the end of last episode. Pretty much, we're not at the end of last episode, but at the end of the regular season, and he managed to pick up 5 goals in his last 5 games of the year, which was pretty nuts. And also, I realized in the AHL, he picked up like 14 goals in his last 14 games down there before we actually called him up, which is ridiculous. So this guy is definitely going to be in our lineup going into next season for sure. I'll show you his stats right now just in case you guys forget. But I'm very excited for him for next season. As you can see, he's a 79 overall top 6 forward, but he's still got his ridiculous shooting. He was only playing 12:49 a game, mainly because of power play time. Probably he scored a lot of goals, but 5 goals in 5 games, shooting almost 30%, which is also ridiculous. And as I said, in the AHL, like a couple episodes ago, he was at like 30 something goals, and then by the end of last episode, he was at 51. So he went up by like 14 goals in like the last 14 games down the stretch, which is really, really crazy. So basically, in his last 19 games combined, other than the playoffs, he has 19 goals. So this guy is going to be a stud for sure. Now, if there's a lot of cuts in this video, it might be because my voice is kind of like a little bit off, because obviously I went to 2 hockey games on the weekends, so my voice might be a little bit sore just from cheering too much or something, or maybe I have a little bit of a cold. But yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know about that. But we do have quite a bit of comments to go over before we actually get into the draft in the Resign stage. So the first one is from HawksFan88. He says, Tukinen is definitely your best choice for first overall pick. He means first round pick. Also, hopefully Shelley keeps up that kind of production for his whole career, which I agree with. Hopefully that is the case, because I think this guy could literally become like maybe the next Ovechkin in this franchise mode, and probably the best goal scorer of all time for the Arizona Coyotes, because obviously Shane Doan's at first, and I believe he has over 400 goals. So I could see Shelley reaching maybe like 700 if he could keep it up like that at that pace. Like, very excited to see what he could do for us for next season. And he was mentioning Tukinen, who is a defenseman who looks pretty solid. He's supposed to go 7th overall. He only has top 4 potential, which is interesting, but he is NHL ready, which is also really interesting. So he's probably going to be like a 78 overall out of the draft. And according to this thing, he actually does have an X factor, which is quick pick, so he is good at intercepting pucks on the defensive end. And then also he does have a good shutdown ability, good slap shot, and he's a good puck mover, so he could help us out offensively as well. So this guy might be like the perfect fit for our blue line, which would be really nice. So we're probably going to be definitely taking that guy at number 7. Now, the next 2 comments are from Pens Gaming 7. He says, love the series, but I think you should change your approach a bit. Yeah, Arizona is bad and should tank, but I don't think any team anymore purposely tries to lose. They start they start the year trying to win and quickly realize they can't. Doesn't mean you should give up assets and players, of course. Just that if you're that close, keep the team and keep the team and see if you can make it. Although this game IRL playoff experience is very valuable to a young team, even if it's a first round exit. So yeah, we might change our approach a bit. I think we are getting close to being competitive anyway, though, so it's not a big issue. But it's just mainly because I want to be competitive for like a long run. Like, I don't want to be competitive for like a few seasons and all of a sudden miss the playoffs. Like, I'd want to be like kind of like a built up enough team that we can contend for like the playoffs and stuff like that for like 10 straight seasons. But yeah, we'll probably change our approach a little bit in terms of that. Also, Pens Gaming says, also John 2BC has proven in the past that anyone could grow with +5 or 3 chem, so don't focus too much on it if they grow in a previous GM. Okay, sounds good on that front. The next comment is from Dylan Burrows. He says, do you do any draft interviews? I know they used to uncover some possible knowledge about prospects. Might be worth it for this draft. Number 7, I think, is a lock with that D. But so what about the 2nd round and 3rd rounders? Now, I haven't actually used my draft interviews for this season, and I really don't use that feature that much because I just find it's kind of, I don't know, it gets in the way of the actual draft itself. So we could technically scout some 2nd and 3rd rounders if we really want to. Like if we go to, let's see, down here, We could scout out some if we want to, but I don't want to be taking up, like, making it like a 40-minute episode by actually interviewing all these guys, or 3 different guys, and finding out how good they are. So I don't really use the feature that much, but that's just mainly how I do it. So, but maybe in the future, and maybe not this season, but in the future we could do that if you guys think it's necessary. And the last comment is from Mike Garbrandt. He says, in the draft, look at Svensson and Lawrence, trade for Marco Rossi, him next to Shelley. Also use Trade Finder more. I feel like you could have gotten a better return on some of those moves you made. If you're moving the top guns up from the AHL for next season, make sure to have prospects to replace them with. Great stuff. Can't wait for the next one. So so we might make some trades at the deadline, and we will try and use the Trade Finder a little bit more often. He says to look at Svensson and Lawrence in the draft, which I don't really know who that is, because I didn't really look. Svensson and Lawrence. Oh, he's saying looking at these guys. We could do a draft interview to see what this guy is, but he's more than likely a top 6 forward because of the 3-year ETA. And then he was also saying Lawrence, which I don't know. Oh, he's down here. He's a top 6 forward. He looks pretty good, but I think we need to address our defense more. Since the first few drafts, we've drafted a lot of good forwards, so I don't think I'm going to even go and look at this guy that much, even though he's an NHL-ready top 6 forward, which is kind of intriguing. And then he also said to trade for Marco Rossi, which I don't really think is realistic, because Marco Rossi is obviously one of Minnesota's best kind of forward prospects, so I don't think I'm going to trade for Marco Rossi, but if he ever becomes a free agent, maybe we'll bring him in at some point. That's that. And that is all the comments I got for last episode. So let's get into the draft. And hopefully we could get some good progress or prospects again added to our team. And hopefully Tuukkanen's a decent overall out of the draft. That would be pretty nice. So let's advance the day, get into the actual draft itself. And then we might make some trades. I might not. I could actually adjust my trading block already. So let's address my trading block and see what we got here. I think I'm going to throw Nick Schmaltz onto the block just because I would like to try and still trade him away because he is making like $7 million still. So we'll throw him on the block, and then our wants are going to be just adjusted a little bit because I would prefer some younger players obviously than older players. So we'll go any goalies 17 to 27. And we'll do the same for defensemen and forwards. But hopefully this upcoming season we get some good progress from our youngsters, because more than likely we're going to have Farinacci in the NHL, we're going to have Shelley in the NHL, maybe some other guys, I don't know. So I think this one needs to be a defenseman, not a forward. Yeah, there we go. So that is good, and hopefully we could get some trade offers. I'll go to the Trade Finder when we're at the draft just to see if there's any offers for Nick Schmaltz, because I wouldn't mind moving him away like I said. So let's start up the draft and see what we could get here. So Dallas has first, Minnesota, Detroit, New Jersey, Nashville, and then we're up here at number 7. I forget, do we have multiple first rounders this year? I don't think so, right? No, we do not. I know we have multiple picks in, I think it was the 3rd round. I know I looked at the end of last episode, but it's been a while. Oh yeah, we have 3 second rounders, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, a 5th, and a 7th. So we should be able to get some prospects in other rounds. Some other good prospects. Okay, so Dallas at number 1 is going to take Connolly, who's an 83 overall sniper. That's a really good overall base for that player. This guy's got some X factors. Yeah, that guy's probably going to be a guy that competes with Shelley in the future for goals, I would assume. Rodrigo Connolly. Interesting. Minnesota at number 2 is going to take Colborne, 79 playmaker. So it seems like the draft quality isn't super great in terms of overall yet. Oh, never mind. Boyce, 82. This actually might be a really good draft for overall wise, which means hopefully Tuukkanen is still a pretty good overall. So that's Boyce at number 3. New Jersey's going to take Richard, 79 two-way defenseman at 4, and Nashville is going to take Modine, who's an offensive defenseman. Not too bad. Let's into our pick at number 7, and we are definitely going to be taking here. Where are you, Tuukkanen? There you are. Yeah, I'm excited to see how good Tuukkanen is, and hopefully he fits our blue line pretty decently. We might have to find a new coach this offseason, so welcome aboard, Tuukkanen. And he's a 77 overall, so not too bad. I was hoping for more of a 78. He is listed as a minor top 2, so we could play him in the AHL this year, or we could play him in the NHL if we don't want to rush him. Here's his individual attributes in case you guys were wondering. He's got a really good slap shot power, like I was saying, 86 and 85. His offensive awareness is almost as good as his defensive awareness. Not too bad of a player all around. It's pretty good. The guy that went before him was a 76 top 6, so some pretty good overalls out of the gate in this draft. So that is our first round pick. Let me just see him a couple more picks just so we can see how good those other guys are that were mentioned before. Svensson was a 66 top 6, so I think we still made the right choice. And then the other dude that was mentioned was who? There's still 70 overalls going in halfway through the first round. That's pretty impressive. This is probably one of the best draft classes I've seen overall-wise so far. Oh yeah, it was Lawrence that was actually mentioned, 76 top 6. That's a pretty good player as well, and he does have X factors, so maybe we should have taken him, but I do think getting a defenseman might have been better. This guy's only 17 years old, though, and he's already got all these kind of attributes and stuff, so that's pretty good for the Tampa Bay Lightning to get at 13. Let's move to our next pick at number 37, since we have a couple second rounders. So we do have that gem I was looking at, so I think I'm going to go with him since he's a top 6 forward, and he is 1 year out. I think there's no way I'm not going to take this guy, so he's going to be playing in the AHL more than likely next season and replacing somebody probably like Shelley. So welcome aboard Travis Mcgillis. And he's a 74 grinder, top 6. Wow. Interesting. Always good to get a grinder, I guess, so we could have somebody good on the penalty kill. He's got good hitting and stuff like that, so he's a very strengthy guy. Like, he's got 3.5 star physical already. He's only 18. Very excited to see how this guy could do. Hopefully he gets some good development when he's playing in the AHL. And hopefully he can become a really good penalty killer for us in the future too. And we sim to our next pick, and we missed out on a low elite in Grabowski, who just goes to Toronto. That kind of sucks. Oh well. Our next pick here in the second round. Do I have anybody pinned around this stage? No. Koltsov is actually, yes I do. Koltsov is actually supposed to go right around this stage according to my scouts. A low top 6. Is there anybody better though, or no? Not really. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Sergei Koltsov. He's probably going to be like a 65 or something, which is not too bad for a low top 6, so we're going to take him, even though I do need more defensemen and forwards. Yep, low top 6, 64 overall, not too bad. A two-way forward as well, so hopefully a guy that could also help us out on the penalty kill in the future. Because obviously we want to be good on special teams, and there's a medium elite goalie that just went to Edmonton, 47 overall. Edmonton finally has gotten their goaltender of the future. Sidu might be a low elite. He might be decent. He has really good shooting, so I think that's on its own. We should definitely take this guy, because if he has really good shooting, he might end up being like Shelley in a sense. But he is a really small dude, so he might end up getting injured a lot. So yeah, let's take Gabriel Sidu just because of that shooting attribute. And he is a low top 6 as well, 64 sniper, so he might pan out. But he does have some pretty good shooting, so he might be able to tear it up at the AHL level if he doesn't pan out. But that's still a decent pick. Next up at number 87 in the third round. There's not really a lot of defensemen anymore in the draft. There is a goaltender, but he doesn't look that great, to be honest. Zachary Benson, Fabian Bancroft. I feel like this draft goalie's dipped a lot. We might take Kronwall because of the 4-year ETA potentially. There's an enforcer top 6 defenseman. That would be kind of interesting to an extent, but he's probably got a really low overall base. Like, he's got a good physical, but everything else is not good. 4-year ETA though. Do I want to take an enforcer named Joe Madden? I think I got to. I don't know. This Kronwall guy's going to probably be a better offensive defenseman or a better two-way defender. Or a better defensive defenseman, but let's take the enforcer just for fun. Why not? 60 overall enforcer. This guy's going to beat up kids probably in the AHL, which is kind of scary. His strength and stuff isn't actually that great. Like, he's only got 2-star physical for an enforcer. His defensive stats aren't terrible either. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think he'll pan out really to be an actual NHL defenseman, but still, that was kind of like a little meme pick. Edmonton takes another medium elite goaltender. God damn it. And that was Backman, who we could have taken, but I didn't think he was going to be that good. That sucks. There is a gem that's potentially a low top 6 D, man. We could use more defensemen. There's also a guaranteed medium top 6. Doesn't look that great, though. This guy might be a bit of a gamble. Always like to make that joke when I see what... I'll take the gem. Why not? Gives us another defenseman. Low top 4, 62 overall. That's pretty solid. Really good defensive awareness. And good wrist shot power. Okay, deking as well. Really good speed and... not speed-wise. Acceleration and agility. And then solid in terms of some physical attributes. But we're getting at least some defensive prospects in, which is a good thing. Our next pick, we could get more defensemen if we want to. Or we could go with a top 9 at Kovalev. He's 17. I don't know about that. I think I might just take the defenseman, to be honest. Yeah, goalie-wise, there's not really a whole lot. Like, there's some fringe starters, but they won't really pan out, I don't think. So I think I'm going to just take Kress, get us another top 6 defensive prospect. 57 overall, he might not pan out, probably won't. But gives us a little bit more depth in terms of defense, and maybe some teams will offer us some trades for them. Oh yeah, I didn't actually look at any trades for Schmaltz now. I almost forgot about that. I don't know if I'll get thrown any offers now since it's too late in the draft. We do okay. Okay, Detroit. Okay, Detroit. We are going to accept that offer right away. Nick Schmaltz going to Detroit for Philip Zadina and 2 5th-rounders. Now, Zadina only has 2 years left, but I believe he might be still an RFA by the end of it. Or we could just trade him straight up for a 2nd and a 5th, which I don't really want to do. But we are going to trade him to Detroit for this one. Zadina just makes a lot of sense for this team to bring in. So, welcome aboard, Philip Zadina. That was a nice trade offer. Gonna accept that every day of the week. So, we got rid of Nick Schmaltz, which is good. And we bring in Philip Zadina. So, I think that will help us also in terms of cap. But eventually, Zadina might want a lot of money, which is kind of risky. But, like I said, that I think is a good trade for us to make. Okay, so one trade is done, and probably our only trade we're going to make this entire offseason, unless you guys think there's anything else we should do. This is a pretty long episode already, which is kind of bad, but oh well. Let's just take Oshie, because he looks like he might be a low elite. He's a low top 9. Not bad. 5th round pick. We're getting close to the end of the draft. I think we have 2 5th-rounders now since we just got one in that trade. Morgan Stevens, 4-year ETA. Let's just take him. Low top 6D. 60 overall is actually not too bad. Better than I thought. So, next 5th round pick here. Kulich. I don't know if this guy's a real player or not. 3-year ETA is actually kind of intriguing. Yeah, let's just take Yuri Kulich, because why not? 63 overall. Wow. That's not too bad. Might be a decent steal there. It's got some good shooting powers. And our final pick of the draft, which is in the 7th round. I believe this is their last pick. Scouts are recommending us take this dude, but I really don't think he's going to be that good. Let's go back by scouting rank. I might just take what the scouts recommend us. And that's Fratton. Yeah, let's just take Tom Fratton. And he is a 7th D. So not really great, but another defensive prospect. So that is our draft for the 2024 season, I guess it is now. But we got a lot of defensive prospects in and a couple other good prospects like Mcgillis. Madden should be interesting because he's an enforcer. So not a bad draft. Not the greatest one, but we did trade away Nick Schmaltz and bring in Philip Zadina, which I think is going to be pretty nice. We do have to get our scouts back. But Zadina, I believe, has now 1 year left on his deal, so hopefully he doesn't demand a ton of money. But I do think that is a good move for our team in terms of making us a little bit younger. And also we don't lose really that much high of an overall of a player, because I believe they're both around the same overall, unless Zadina is like a 79, which I didn't really even take a look at how good Zadina is, but oh well. I think that makes sense, though, for our team. Hopefully Zadina has a good year with us in Arizona. So that should be all the scouts almost. There's another one. And that is good. Okay, let's get into the re-sign stage. See who we have to re-sign, which is probably not a whole lot of players. So RFA-wise, okay, actually we do have some big RFAs to re-sign this year. So let's get through these. So Soderstrom, that's a long-term deal, but I think I might be willing to do that, to be honest, to stay or get close to the cap floor. So I'm going to offer Soderstrom 5.2 for 6 years, see if I can get him for less. John Farinacci has no NHL experience whatsoever so far. So I think I'll give him a 2-year, two-way deal, see if he wants to accept that. I wouldn't mind bringing back Julian Gauthier since he's still an RFA. Yeah, let's just do 1.7, why not? Yoki Haru, 3 years at 1.5 is a bit expensive, but it's cheaper than his contract was before. And that's not too bad. We might eventually trade him away, to be honest, but still I will sign him up since he's young. And then we got to get all these AHL guys back, which we have an abundance of. Actually, we should probably let some of them go, but not the RFA ones, just because we need to free up some room for some prospects. Yeah. So I will sign pretty much all these RFA ones, and then UFA ones will more than likely release, even if they're good overall wise, so we could get some of our new prospects in. But we do have a lot of AHL defensemen, so I think I might have to let go of like Benoit. Yeah, I'm gonna let go of Benoit, free up some roster spots down there, because the defense, there's too much. There's like an abundance of defense in the AHL. We're also gonna let go of Holtz, and everybody else is gonna get signed, just because we don't have as much forwards down there, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna let go of McGregor as well, since he's kind of old. And goalie-wise, Lenefelt might jump to the NHL this year, which would be interesting, since he's a 79. Okay, so that's all the RFAs. Let me just go to unsigned. Tukinen definitely needs a contract. He might play in the AHL this year, I don't know. It's up to you guys on that front. And then Mcgillis, I'd like to play him in the AHL this year. But everybody else, I'm just going to leave for now. Yeah, everybody else I'm going to leave for now. And then UFA-wise, let's go to the bottom of this list. Korpakari isn't really going to pan out. He's a 59 at 20. We're going to let him walk. Semenov is a 64 at 20, which isn't terrible. He's got really good offensive awareness and good slap shot power, but I don't really know if this guy's going to pan out that much. I might have to let that guy walk, to be honest. I'm going to definitely sign Howe because he's a top 6'4 prospect. Alberts was a 3rd rounder. He's not terrible. I mean, I could look and see if I could let go of some AHL players. Sarah Yarvi will let go of. Geeky needs to get signed as well. Man, we have a lot of young guys that need to get signed. Sadikov, former 1st rounder. We'll let go of Spears and Imama as well. So our AHL team is going to go through a lot of different changes, I guess, this year. And let me just go to goalies. That's fine for now. Let's advance the day, just see if we get all those guys, so I could get some of these contracts out of the way, because there's still all these scouts that are going to be accepting too, which is kind of annoying. Let's go through this fastly. I think everybody's accepting so far. Okay, that is good. Let me go to RFAs. Soderstrom rejected, so I have to give him a little bit more. So let's see if I can get him for 5.5. Because Soderstrom is an important piece, I think, of this future. I don't know for sure, though. And defensively, wasn't Sylvester one of our high up picks? Yeah, he was a 2nd rounder. I guess we should be signing him, technically. I'm probably going to sign some of these other prospects as well. Like Mayorov was a 2nd rounder. We should probably sign him. Arnsby might pan out. Most of these prospects, a lot of them I might not be able to re-sign. Unless I let go of like Barabanov and stuff like that. I might actually let go of Barabanov. He was good last year, but yeah, I'm going to let go of Barabanov for now. I think I might also let go of Lawson Krause, because he's not really anything special. And he's probably he wants 1.4. That's not terrible, actually. Yeah, we'll bring back Lawson Krause for 1 year. See if he'll accept that. I'm going to let go of Larson just to make sure we have enough roster spots for younger guys first. And I will sign Boyd for 1 year as well if I can. Kristen Fisher doesn't really want a whole lot either, so 1 year deal for him. And I don't really know if we need Montembeault back. Because if we look at our goaltending system right now, Lenefeld would jump up. We'd still have Prospitov, Corner, Wallstead, Tendek in the minors. Yeah, I think I'm going to let go of Montembeault for now, but if you guys think I should bring him back, let me know. It's just more to make sure we have enough roster spots still. Let's advance the day to see if we get those guys, especially Soderstrom, which it looks like he did accept, because I see some morale stuff going on. There we go, that is good. Lawson, Krause, and Boyd did not accept yet. We only have 5 contract spaces available, which means a lot of these prospects I might not be able to sign, which kind of sucks. So we're going to have to decide on those. Let me get Krause and Boyd, though, back for 1 year deals if I can. Give them a little bit more money so we could be kind of closer to the cap floor, which hopefully we will be. A little bit more for Boyd as well. I think Arnsby definitely needs a contract. Mayo we're going to let go for the AHL. I might be actually able to sign a lot of these unsigned guys. But I'm going to just wait until I get Krause and stuff back first, which I just did. Perfect. So we do have 6 contract spaces available, which means I'm not going to sign Ortmeyer yet, even though he does have an X factor, just because there's still a lot of defensemen in the minors. But I will sign these 5 guys, and then we'll only have room for 1 more contract, which means I don't really know what we're going to bring in, but we're going to sign in all 5 of these prospects, just because I want them to potentially pan out, and some of them have low top 6 potential, so they might end up. So we'll sign those guys all up to contracts, and that will be good. Let's advance a day, and they'll all join, which means, yeah, we only have 1 contract space, and we are retaining salary still on somebody. But let's take a look at our main roster going into next season so far. I don't know if we're going to sign anybody with our last contract space, but if you guys think there is, let me know. So basically what our NHL team would look like so far next season is Hayton, Farinacci, Boyd, and Ponomarev. So there's 4 centers. Left wing wise, we got Zadina, Genther, Agostino, Dalcole, Krause, Hagel, maybe even, and Braden Tracy maybe. So yeah, currently we have like 9 forwards, maybe 10 forwards. Yeah, we might be honestly good for forwards, because like Shelley, like I said, is going to be in the lineup for sure. He definitely proved himself worthy at the end of last episode. So, and then defensively, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we might be good on defense too, to be honest. Like I said, Tukinen I think needs a year in the AHL at least. And then goaltending wise, we could run with a Lenefeld and stuff like that. Like our goaltending tandem isn't great still, but we do have a lot of goalies under contract right now, 5 goalies. So we could kind of run any of these goalies if we want to. Or we could try and trade for a better goaltender if we really want to try and contend this upcoming season. So now that is done, let's sim to free agency and just take a look at what is available. And I'll also show you guys the trading block briefly, and then that'll be it for this episode. So what is available in free agency this year? Not that we probably will make any signings, but forward-wise, or actually let's just go by each position. Overall-wise, best center is Malkin. Jared McCann's there. Yeah, there's definitely some good centers available. Adam Godhead's going right to free agency, which means we just got Ponomarev pretty much for free from Carolina. How did he do in Carolina? 8 points in 20 games. But he did almost go point per game in the playoffs, so that's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much what's available for centers. We could also take a look at potential-wise, just in case there's any young guys to sign with for the AHL, which I don't really know if we're going to find any low top 6. Left wing wise, the best is Duclair. Hoffman's available. Yeah, there's some good players available, but like I said, I don't think we really need to bring in anybody because we kind of want to run with our younger guys. And obviously, like I said, Zadina's contract, I believe, ends at the end of this season, so we want to have some space available in terms of contracts to get him. Phil Kessel's back in free agency. I don't know where he was just playing last season. In Vegas, apparently. Interesting. So yeah, some good right wingers available too. Cole Lind. Cole Lind wouldn't be a bad signing, probably like a low risk reward type of player. If we wanted to bring in somebody for the forward core, Cole Lind wouldn't be a bad option. We go to defense. There's some good defensemen: Barry, Pesci, Letang, Giordano. Yeah, there's some really good names out there in a lot of positions. Lucas Johansson, who's only 26, but we don't really need a defenseman, I don't think. Zub as well. Goaltending-wise, Hellebuck, Samsonov, Drieger. Yeah, there's some good goalies out there, but I don't really know if we would bring in a goaltender and then trade somebody away. Like, Philip Gustafson's there, too. And he's also only wanting $775. He's been playing in the AHL, and he's been really good. So that is that. Let's take a quick look at the trading block, because this episode is running a little bit long. And that'll be it for this episode. So, trading block-wise, we're definitely not going to be trading for much more prospects, because we are having a lot of our own in the system. So, I would think if we wanted to start making trades, we might have to start trading for guys that would help us contend for a playoff spot. But I really don't know how good our team's going to be going into next season, because the goaltending situation is pretty much the main problem right now, I think, with our team in terms of overall rating. Like, I was hoping Wallstead would get a little bit more development. Then again, at the start of next season, he could be up to like an 80-something overall. Maybe he just hasn't grown yet. Zach Hyman's still available. There's some good players out there for sure. Like Doughty, but $11 million, no thank you. Caden Primo, that's not a bad one either. Very low trade value as well, but we'd have to trade away one of our goalie prospects probably to get him, which I don't know who I would want to get rid of. Nashville has Matt Duchene, Granlund, so a lot of veterans there. Sami Niku. Yeah, there's definitely options out there if we want to actually try and start contending soon, which we might want to, because we do have a good prospect pool in the AHL this coming season. Like Geeky should be down there, and then couple other prospects like the guy we just drafted, that Grinder. Some good defensemen there in St. Louis, and forwards too. McDonough in Tampa Bay. Toronto has pretty much nothing. Vancouver has OEL, but still with a bad contract. Vegas, some prospects. Washington, Nick Backstrom, Oshie, Miller, Benning, and Van Riemsdyk. And Winnipeg, Van Riemsdyk and Lowry. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to free agency. We might sign one player, considering we have one contract space left. But other than that, we probably won't do much in terms of the offseason, but we'll simulate a little bit of next season as well. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.